All right, what's going on, everybody? Not So Simple Garage back here again, doing the transmission on this 2013 Ford Mustang. So we got the new transmission in. The old one is over here, right there. We got everything swapped over. The transmission physically is still exactly the same, but the number codes on it are just like one letter off. So I think we're going to be good. We're going to take a shot in the dark. Hopefully there's no difference in the final drive and causing him to need a new rear differential. So, you know, we'll find that out when the time comes. But yeah, so where we're at, we drained the old fluid out of this new transmission. So we're going to put that plug back in, top it back off. There's a drain plug on the bottom here. You won't be able to see it, but it's right here on the bottom in the back. You pop that, and then when you go to fill it up, you put your drain plug back in, obviously, and then you take out this fill plug and you fill it through that, and once it starts pouring out, then your transmission is full, and then you put the fill plug back in and call it good. We got the linkage swapped over, I got the sensor swapped over, we got this vent tube swapped over. That's really about it. So there wasn't a whole lot to be done. So now where we're at is we've got to get this old pilot bearing out. So we're going to use the good old bread trick, and yeah, we're going to just go ahead and get right into it. And then we're going to install the new, what is it, slave cylinder. Nice. Yeah, still had a little bit of fluid in it. So we'll install the new one. We'll put the clutch kit on the engine, and then we will go ahead and bolt the transmission to the engine. And then maybe even get the car swapped back in today. So stick around, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. We'll do a little bit of a how-to when it comes to getting this all put back together, but yeah, I mean, it's honestly pulling this engine, it's a lot easier to figure out than a Subaru engine, and that's where I started. So that's why I was able to just come and pull it first try, no problems at all. You know, it's a learning experience, so you're gonna learn certain things along the way. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, so the bread trick, I'm sure you've probably heard of it if you watch a lot of car videos, but basically you can get a pilot bearing puller, but I don't want to spend money on that. So basically what you're doing is you're shoving bread into the space behind the pilot bearing, and just keep shoving it in, taking a extension that fits tight. Once it's down far, shove some more bread in, and basically eventually it's going to fill up that space and drive this pilot bearing out. So this is my first time doing this, so we're just going to go ahead and get it done, and I've seen it work many times. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Like that. You got your old pilot bearing out. Then you're just going to take a pick. You're going to pick all this bread out and put your new pilot bearing in. Boom, just like that. Took one whole piece of bread, and then this one's garbage. Yeah. You know, love toast. No, it wasn't toast. So yeah, just get it cleaned out. Use some brake clean to clean that out. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool trick. Takes next to nothing to be able to do it. So yeah, we'll get the new one installed and go from there. Rear main seal still looks pretty good. Alright, so you got our new pilot bearing here. Just go ahead and set it in there. Get it nice and square. Give it a couple little love taps to get it started. Okay, once you see it's nice and square, you just try and work it down as square as possible. Okay, make sure it's nice and square, seated all the way. That looks good to me. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put the flywheel on. You can see here there's this little dowel right in this. Teeth go towards the engine. So we're gonna line that dowel up with this hole right here. It's an offset hole, and that's gonna make sure all of these holes line up perfectly with that, and then you line your clutch up, or your flywheel up perfectly with that. And you'll feel it when it's not lined up, it'll be kind of wobbly. You'll twist it, and you'll feel it seat. Do that again, so it's kind of wobbly, and you'll twist it, and it seats perfect. And now it's not wobbly at all. So now that we got that taken care of, we're gonna take our flywheel, and we're gonna go ahead and line it up. Make sure all your holes are lining up good. They all look good. Okay. Go ahead and get each bolt started. Don't run any of them down yet because you kind of need the play sometimes. Okay. So once you got all 8 started, and never try and start them with an impact because you'll cross thread stuff, and you really don't want to do that on this. So let's go in a star pattern. Okay. And then you look at the center here, and everything should be looking uniform. This pilot bearing should be almost flush, a little deeper than flush to this flywheel. Then I just go back around in a circle, because once you tighten some of them up, you can actually see this one. Well, that was the case with this other one. It was actually loose a little bit. So go around in a circle. And you're not cranking them down super hard. You're just making sure they're going to be seated properly. And then we're going to find the torque spec. We're going to torque them down, and then we'll put on our. We're going to clean this up. Then we're going to put on our clutch disc, and then the clutch pressure plate, and then we're going to put on the slave cylinder, and then we're going to try and stick this baby together. We still got to fill that up with fluid while it's out. So we'll go ahead and do that too. We got some royal purple Synchromax. Yeah, smoother shifts, less parasitic loss, lower temperature. So it's some, looks like some pretty good oil. It's like 21 bucks a quart. So luckily this transmission only takes about 3 quarts of it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on those next steps. So here we go.
Only time I need to pee.
Okay, so we got this ancient torque wrench here, but you know, it's gonna work. So you're gonna need either someone or something holding the crankshaft on the other side while you torque this down. We're gonna go in a star pattern. We're gonna start at the top. Okay. Let go.
Me?
Yes. Okay. Now hold it. So that's that. Yeah, super ancient torque wrench. It's kind of cool though. Basically, as you turn it, this dial goes wherever it goes. I think it's pretty trustable. Okay, go ahead and clean off your flywheel. Use some brake clean. These little fibers aren't the end of the world. I mean, try and get them off if you can, but it's not going to kill anybody. Okay, so nice and clean. Then we're going to get our clutch alignment tool. Motherfucker. Okay, so we're going to get our clutch alignment tool. We're going to pop that in. Then we're going to take our clutch disc. Pop that on. We actually need to take this back out, do this. Okay. So that's on. And we've got our pressure plate. We're gonna pull this out. And there's usually a couple of dowels to line it up. Which we'll figure that out here in a second. And hand me a paper towel. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing with this surface. We're gonna spray it down. Wipe it down. Just because there's residual oil from the factory while it was being made. So you wanna make sure no oil is getting on your clutch or anywhere in your clutch or flywheel. So let's see, a couple dowel pins. These ones right here, these will seat somewhere like right along here. Not exactly sure the perfect orientation. Basically just spinning it until you find your holes. Just rip ass. No. Okay, so it looks like that's our spot right there. You're gonna take one bolt and you're just gonna hang it. Don't get them tight because you kind of need that play to get the rest of them in. This one was easy. All right. So now what you're looking for is the perfect centering around this spline. Okay. So I mean, we're pretty damn centered up right there. So I'm happy with that. All right, guys. So I had to go get a torque wrench real quick. Got the pressure plate on. Got to make sure that this spline is centered wherever I put that. Yeah, right here. So obviously this was already done properly. You just want to make sure this is perfectly centered in this hole right here, because that's going to make your clutch balanced entirely. So you do that, and then you put your bolts in for the pressure plate. Leave them all a little loose while you get them all started, and then you work 2 down, 2 down, and 2 down, and then you torque them in a star pattern. The torque spec is like 12 to 24 foot-pounds apparently, which doesn't sound right to me, so I got them to about 40. And it didn't feel like they were, you know, about to break or anything. They're nice and tight. Then once that's all done, this should slide out no problem. You should be able to put it in and out no problem. That means everything is lined up in there and it's good to go. So next we're going to move on to this slave cylinder here in the transmission. So this is like a hydraulic slave cylinder. So yeah, we're going to get this put in, and then we obviously got to take the old one out. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Out. Looks like that's about it. There's like a plastic clip you disconnect right here. Basically holding it onto the line, you have to get these sides pressed out to be able to slip it off the line. And you've got obviously this connection here. Yeah, so this goes right on it like this. So this goes right on it like this. There's what's called a Jesus clip. Looks like that. So you basically just use a pick to pull it out, and that keeps it locked onto its connection like so. You can see how it goes in there. So just don't lose that, because they're not that easy to find. You take this out, slide it on, Make sure that line goes through that hole. Gonna line it up and screw it. Yeah, screw it in. Okay. Go ahead and take all this crap off. And then you're gonna come to this back side here. You pull off this little cap. I like to keep these, they're always good to have around. So then you're gonna put this line on, or this clip on the line like so. Okay, there we go. So the trick is to kind of push this line out this way, and you should get it to seat properly. Now it's nice and snug on there. So then you got this other Jesus clip up here, and you can kind of just back it out to where it's like that. I'll wait until it's in the car to do that, just so it doesn't get caught and fly out and lose it. So with that said, seems like it operates smoothly. So I think that's about it for this transmission. We got to put fluid in there, which I'll go ahead and do real quick. So you've got, I already showed you your drain on the bottom. You've got a fill plug. Damn, that was tight. And all you're gonna do here is you're just gonna start filling it until it starts dripping out the side. Okay, so we got our third quart in, and if we tip it tiniest bit, it starts to come out. So we're good right there. So go ahead and crank that back down. Make sure your drain plug is tight, make sure your fill plug is tight, because if one comes out, you will lose all your fluid and blow your trans. Not good. Okay, just be careful not to strip it. There we go. Alright, so I believe we're ready to hook the transmission back up to the engine. So we'll go ahead and do that.